RSV, how far along are researchers in coming up with a medication or a vaccine?
SDPD reports more car thefts. We'll tell you what type of cars are at the top of the list.
Plus, are there aliens among us? The truth is out there, and it's about to be in the hands of Congress.
And Hamilton is coming to the Civic Theater. 2 San Diego actors in the cast, and your chance to score $10 tickets.
I felt the pressure to try and make myself look like other people.
And the 12-year-old girl who's suing social media. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
As RSV cases continue to climb, many parents are wondering how to keep their children safe. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Carrie Lane in for Carla Chiquetto. In just the past 3 weeks, 650 kids have tested positive for RSV at Rady Children's Hospital. Now, that doesn't include tests done elsewhere or those kids who were never even diagnosed. A lot of them may be wondering if there's any medication or a vaccine that can help either treat or prevent this respiratory virus.
CBS 8's Shannon Haney has been working for you all day to find the answers to your questions tonight.
As of today, 56 kids are hospitalized here at Rady Children's with RSV. For the most part, they're getting oxygen and fluids to deal with symptoms. That's because there's no specific medication. There's no vaccine either. However, studies are underway in hopes of making both available.
It's a helpless process.
Yesterday, I shared the story of one father whose infant daughter, Ivy, was hospitalized for more than a week with respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV.
My wife and I were trading off 24-hour shifts. We spent a total of 8 days in the hospital.
Keith James told me Ivy was given airflow to help her breathe more easily. Beyond that, there was not much more doctors could do except monitor and give her time to heal, which she did. As a parent of 2 young girls myself, I wanted to know more about RSV, including treatment options. I did some research and learned by the age of 2, almost every child will get RSV. In most cases, it will appear as a common cold and go away on its own, though rest and fluids will help, as will over-the-counter drugs if your child is age appropriate. But for babies like Ivy, it can be more serious and lead to breathing issues, which is why she wound up in the hospital. As far as treatment goes, I turned to Dr. Davy Smith, the Chief of Infectious Diseases and Global Public Health at UC San Diego.
Is there a specific medication for RSV right now?
There's not an approved medication for RSV right now.
Dr. Smith says there are antivirals for RSV being investigated. In fact, Rady Children's is working with Pfizer on planning clinical trials, but a timeline hasn't been set. What about a vaccine? Researchers are trying to create one which some believe could be available in the next year or 2. I asked Dr. Smith, given how long RSV has been around, why don't we have a vaccine for it like we do for COVID, which is a new virus?
These are viruses that are not easy to make a vaccine for, COVID or RSV. And COVID was at a time when there was lots of people dying, so there was a lot of political will and money that was attached to getting those trials done very quickly.
So for now, though, what options do us worried parents have? When it comes to prevention, for starters, follow proper hygiene. Also, stay home if you're sick and stay away from others who may be too. If RSV turns into something else like a sinus infection, there is medication for that. There's also a drug to try and prevent severe RSV illness, but it's only for high-risk infants and kids and has to be administered before they get sick. For CBS 8, I'm Shannon Handy.
All right, Shannon, thank you. Tonight, Chula Vista police are looking for the driver who shot and killed another driver during an apparent road rage incident. Police released these images of the suspect's car today. Pay attention to those arrows. Investigators say Wednesday morning the drivers were pulled over and arguing near Broadway and East Street. According to witnesses, one of the drivers shot the other driver, then got back in their car and drove away. That car is right here, a gray Nissan Altima with a dent on the left rear panel. It also has a sticker on the trunk and on the right rear window. That's where those arrows are pointing to. If you have any information about this car or the suspect, you're asked to call Chula Vista Police, or you could be eligible for a reward by reporting it to Crime Stoppers.
A horrifying crime at Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco home. A man arrested after attacking her husband Paul with a hammer.
It has many people wondering, has it really come to this? The answer is an unfortunate yes. Our political reporter Morgan Reiner has been talking to politicians and experts today about how we've gotten to this point and what can be done. Morgan?
It's easier for a political science professor that I spoke to today to point to when this hateful political rhetoric took a turn for the worse in this society than it is for her to point to a solution. She told me she thought January 6th was going to be the wake-up call for many, that words have impact. State Senator Scott Wiener is no stranger to death threats.
I've received thousands of death threats over the last several years, including some very, very scary ones, threats to decapitate me, threats to decapitate me and send my head to my mother.
Just recently, a jury convicted a man for threatening Wiener after he introduced vaccine legislation.
I testified at a criminal trial before a jury last month in Martinez about a guy who threatened to come by me with a rifle.
He believes it's gotten to the point where lawmakers need more security.
So I think a lot of lawmakers are in a terrible spot where you have to start paying for your own security. And I'm not wealthy. So many lawmakers are not wealthy, and yet we have to sort of take care of ourselves.
Ever since I got elected 10 years ago, I've had threats here and there, as have most of my colleagues.
Congressman Ami Bera said they get resources for security and take it seriously, but finding a balance is hard.
Our job's to be with the public. I can't do my job as a representative without actually being out there interacting with my constituents.
And knows that leaves room for vulnerability. Director of the Project for an Informed Electorate and Sac State political science professor Kim Nalder explains how this political climate came to be. One, social media.
This demonizing discourse is so much worse in the era of social media because there's no gatekeeper.
Two,
but it's really amped up in the Trump era and especially since 1/6. In the last few years, we've moved from just disagreeing with political opponents as, fellow Americans who have different views on policy to this demonization.
And doesn't have much hope.
I remember thinking on January 6th, watching how they were calling for the hanging of Mike Pence, their own vice president, right, of their own party, who Trump had chosen as his running mate. They put up a gallows on the Capitol lawn. I really thought that might make a difference.
Condemning this is a step.
What we need is for every elected official and every person running for office, regardless of party, regardless of history, to come out and very strongly condemn this and ask people to stop.
I think we've got to turn the volume down on some of the political rhetoric, the attacks that go back and forth, and both sides are guilty of it.
And if condemning this attack and hateful rhetoric doesn't work, Nalder told me that the younger generation has less tolerance for it and will start voting soon. Now, this type of hateful rhetoric is not exclusive to one side, but I did reach out to the California Republican Party to have them respond to many Democrats pointing their finger at Republican rhetoric. They sent me back a statement saying, and I quote, "Violence has no place in politics or in society as a whole. We condemn this attack."
Morgan Reiner, thank you. Civil rights activists are calling out what they call a blue code of silence in the San Diego Police Department. They showed off photographs today of stickers that are posted on a restroom door that the activists claim were taken inside SDPD headquarters downtown. Now, these stickers depict a no rat symbol and a blue falcon cartoon, which the activists say refer to officers not snitching on other officers. An insider at SDPD allegedly took the photos last week.
This bathroom is located in the Sally Port, where a watch commander is. In a Sally Port, where a supervisor is. In the headquarters building, where the chief is. If they can do this, what are they getting away with in our community?
That's right.
The activists delivered the photos to San Diego Police after a news conference today. SCPD did not respond to a request seeking comment. Vehicle thefts are on the rise in San Diego. In fact, in 2021, San Diego Police responded to more stolen vehicle calls than it has in the past 4 years.
CBS 8 is taking a closer look at this problem for you. And our Kirsten Holmes discovered some cars are targeted more than others. She joins us now live with details on what she found. Kirsten?
Yeah, according to data obtained by CBS 8, Honda sedans were targeted by thieves more than any other car. We talked to a woman whose car was stolen just last week, and she, like so many other people across San Diego, now have to figure out what to do next after someone decides to steal your car.
I woke up, got ready for work like I normally do, and as soon as I walked outside of my apartment, I noticed that my stall was empty.
And that's how Florina Fernandez realized her Honda Civic was missing. She was able to track it, or at least its contents, down.
I opened up my Find My iPhone app and located my laptop and AirPods in Tijuana, Mexico.
So she called LoJack, the anti-theft system she had installed, but since her car seemed to be out of the country, that was no help.
What's the point of paying for a satellite, a couple $1,000s too, for this system to be installed, to not even know how to track it?
According to data obtained by CBS 8, from January 2021 through August of this year, the top 5 stolen cars in San Diego are Honda Civic, Honda Accord, Chevy Silverado, Jeep Wrangler, and Honda CR-V. According to data from the city of San Diego, police dispatchers saw a huge spike in calls for stolen vehicles in 2021. Florina, like too many other car theft victims, has to figure out what to do because the car she's still on the hook to make monthly payments on has been stolen. That's why she started a GoFundMe.
I'm a veteran and I'm a teacher. I like to serve my community. I'm all about integrity and stuff, and it's very humbling to even ask for help. I don't care about material possessions. As I've said, I've had a very rough upbringing where that stuff doesn't really matter to me. However, back in January 2021, when I had my goals, one of my goals was to buy a new car. I wanted to treat myself for all the hard work and sacrifices I've made.
Car experts tell CBS 8 that Hondas are the top stolen car, not just here in San Diego, but all across the country because there's just a lot of them on the road. And so those parts are in high demand, especially those older Hondas. And they also say those old tricks of making sure that your windows are rolled up, your car is locked, and you park in well-lit places, those are the top tricks to keep your car safe. Reporting live for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
And especially with the holidays coming up, don't leave those packages in sight from the outside.
Excellent tips. Or just drive a minivan like I do. Nobody will steal it.
One of the county's largest and longest running holiday events, we're sad to tell you today, is being canceled this year.
The 76th iteration of the Mother Goose Parade won't happen this year because of staffing, logistics, and supply chain issues. The parade had been scheduled for November 20th in downtown El Cajon. This would have been the first year that the parade was back in person after a virtual event last year. Some good news, though. Organizers say that the Mother Goose Parade will return next year, so we just got to be patient.